My name is Carl Habekost, and I want to take a few minutes to talk to you about the nightmare that is involved for employers regarding the COVID-19 virus and the reporting requirements of OSHA Regulation Section 1904.39. As you know, all employers are required to contact OSHA to report certain types of injuries and illnesses. And you may have heard us say and seen in publications that OSHA regulations have not been suspended just because of the COVID-19 pandemic. This includes the reporting requirements. For example, typically, if an employee suffers a work-related incident that results in hospitalization, the employer is required to report this event to OSHA within 24 hours. Also, in the unfortunate event that an employee dies as a result of a work-related incident, and that death occurs within 30 days of the work-related incident, the employer is required to affirmatively contact OSHA within 8 hours of learning of that event. What do you do as an employer in COVID-19 situations where employees are exposed to this infectious disease, whether they're at work or whether they're at home or any other social event? I mean, after all, it is a pandemic, which means it's endemic everywhere, whether somebody's at work or not. It's been a moving target for employers, and we are very empathetic to the struggles that employers have been facing just in this little area, just in reporting to OSHA COVID-19 cases. That doesn't count all the other increased obligations to comply with the ever-changing legal landscape in this area. So historically, OSHA never required the reporting or even the recording of infectious diseases. A typical infectious disease is the flu. Because it's so prevalent everywhere, whether somebody's at work or not, OSHA has never required employers to comply with Section 1904.39 reporting requirements. However, in what I believe is a cave-in to political pressure, OSHA took a stance that a COVID-19 infection is work-related and that employers need to report COVID-19 cases. OSHA revised this guidance in a May 19 publication, and they also in July expanded the stance or their position and took a very broad stance. I think it was mid-July. OSHA quietly updated its COVID-19 frequently asked questions, took a broad and probably unenforceable interpretation of Section 1904.39 reporting requirements, stating that it was the employer's responsibility to report COVID-19 hospitalizations and fatalities. Wow. Okay. So, once again, not only do you have to report, but when do you report? So the slide has a typical example of the quagmire that this situation presents to employers. Somebody is asymptomatic, they leave work on Friday, they begin to get sick over the weekend, they go to a place that provides rapid response to COVID-19 testing, and they're told by Tuesday that they're positive. But they're not hospitalized for 2 weeks later. So when does that 24-hour requirement to report the work-related incident begin? Interestingly, OSHA quietly then changed its stance on this broad interpretation for reporting COVID-19 cases. And on October 1st, 2020, they stated in the frequently asked questions that OSHA defines a work-related incident as, quote, an exposure to the COVID-19 virus in the workplace, close quote. Now, that doesn't help a whole lot, but at least it has reduced the very broad interpretation OSHA had taken in this instance. Well, how do you deal with this? It's a moving target. The main way employers can deal with this is to create and implement a COVID-19 response plan. A written document, in fact, is already required now in state-operated programs in Michigan and Virginia. An employer must have a written COVID-19 response plan, and within that plan are various requirements. I'll simply state that a reporting system is one of them. Employees should be advised who to report COVID-19 symptoms to, as well as workplace safety concerns. There should be one person or a very small group of people that would be the COVID-19 contact individual or individuals. Additionally, the plan should have a brief description of what the COVID-19 virus is from a medical and scientific perspective. Employees should be trained on what symptoms they should look out for so that they know maybe they're developing the COVID-19 infection. Also included in that plan should be a basic description of cleaning procedures, disinfecting procedures, facial coverings, social distancing, and, believe it or not, hand washing techniques. The written plan also advises employees on where they can get further information on COVID-19 and where they can get a copy of the COVID-19 written response plan. So, amidst all of this COVID-19 discussion, don't forget, regular OSHA regulations are still enforceable. So don't forget to follow standard safety policy practices. As always, we recommend to employers to take control of safety in the workplace. Be proactive in this situation. Develop a written COVID-19 response plan. If you don't do it, OSHA will take it over for you. So take care of your people. We always tell employers, if you're focused on taking care of your employees, you will be compliant with safety law 95% of the time. If you have any other questions or concerns, please feel free to contact a member of our Labor and Employment section. Thank you very much.